Good evening, everyone. Melbourne Victory captain Kevin Muscat has been ordered to front the Football Association's disciplinary committee on Thursday night following the vicious tackle on Melbourne Heart youngster Adrian Zara. Roger Aldridge is at Victory headquarters. And Roger, what sort of penalty is Muscat now likely to face?
Well, Stephen, given the matter has been referred directly to the A-League Disciplinary Committee, the suspension will be a minimum of 5 matches. Now, Muscat will most likely front the committee via a video link on Thursday evening to plead his case, but it's unlikely he'll be shown any leniency. The Victory have 4 games remaining in the regular season, plus an expected finals appearance, but it's likely the crude tackle on Adrian Zahara, which ended his season, could end Muscat's career, and it's been a career littered with on-field indiscretions. Since 1996, across all club football, Muscat has received an incredible 99 yellow cards and 12 red, including send-offs in his past 2 A-League matches. He did make an unreserved apology to Zahara, but that would be of little comfort to the 20-year-old who suffered damage to multiple ligaments in his knee. As I said, he will miss the rest of the A-League season. As for Muscat's suspension, well, we'll have to wait until Thursday evening, but it will be a minimum of 5 matches. Stephen.
Thanks, Roger. The hero of Australia's quarter-final win, Harry Kewell, has admitted if the Socceroos don't win the Asian Cup, it'll go down as a wasted opportunity. In recovery mode ahead of Wednesday morning's semi-final against Uzbekistan, Kewell only has eyes for the trophy.
There's no point in coming this far and not going the whole way, so Uzbekistan's going to be a hard challenge, but I think the boys are going to be up for it.
In the English Premier League overnight, Blackburn Rovers defeated West Brom 2-0 thanks to this junior Hoylett thunderbolt. Australia's middle-order hero David Hussey believes the out-of-form Michael Clarke is simply trying too hard. A run drought and a flood of messages on social network Twitter has some questioning Clarke's commitment. Hussey helped steer Australia to victory over England at the SCG last night, and he wants to serve up a series-clinching win on Australia Day.
Clinching the one-day series on Australia Day is David Hussey's perfect patriotic plan.
Australia Day is such a big occasion, not only for the team but for the rest of Australia as well. It's everybody's dream to play on Australia Day, and hopefully we can put on a great performance.
At the SCG last night, Brad Haddon led the top order, the only one of the first 5 batsmen to pass double figures. Down the order, David did what Hussies do, steering Australia home with an unbeaten 68.
Good night! Australia are back.
A little bit disappointing when I first started out. I didn't really quite crack the one-day arena, but hopefully this innings sort of kickstarts my little career and going into the World Cup.
Earlier, Brett Lee turned back the clock as he terrorised England with his man-of-the-match performance.
Brett Lee has struck again. Goodbye, Pryor.
But it's quite a different story for captain Michael Clarke.
And now he's out. He is out, and he punches his bat in disgust.
On the field, I think he's captaining beautifully. Every bowling change he's made, he's brought wickets, great fielding positions, and yeah, maybe he is trying a bit too hard when it comes to batting.
Off the field, his social networking has led to further questions of his leadership. On the eve of Australia's SCG victory, he was playing matchmaker for Steve Smith on Twitter.
It's really up to Michael. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just fully focused on cricket and what I'm doing.
Australia can win the best of 7-game series with a win on Wednesday. Nick Wood, 10 News.
Little-known Ukrainian Alexander Dolgopolov has credited his South Australian coach with his giant-killing run at the Australian Open. The 22-year-old added 4th seed Robin Soderling to his list of scalps, eliminating the Swede in 5 sets. He'll meet Scot Andy Murray in the quarters. While on the women's side, 2nd seed Vera Zvonareva remains on track to reach her 3rd consecutive Grand Slam final. Ian Cohen is at Melbourne Park, and Ian, no Aussies left in the Open, but we still managed to find a local connection.
Oh, we've got to hang on to something here, Stephen, because it hasn't gone well on court, but off court there's a guy called Jack Reeder. He actually grew up in Port Lincoln, started playing his tennis there, got up to the higher echelons of number 700 in the world. He was up to 200 in doubles, then decided his coaching career, or his career was certainly going to be in coaching. Now, he linked up with Dolgopolov through his manager, and they came together. They've been together now for a little while. He's managed to take the player from 130th in the world now to 48, so it's a real success story. It has got an Aussie flavour to it, and it was a big part of the Day 8 action. Let's have a look at it.
Dressed like an Irishman and with an Aussie in his coach's box, this Ukrainian was aiming for his first Grand Slam quarter-final. But Robin Soderling hadn't dropped a set so far.
And that's 19 minutes of hell for Dolgopolov.
The Swede cruised through the first 6-1 before Dolgopolov turned the match on its head, winning the next 2.
That is mighty impressive.
After a pit stop, the Swede regained his rhythm, forcing it into a decider. But Dolgopolov is becoming a 5-set specialist. He downed Joe Wilfried Tsonga in 5 in his last match. He repeated the feat today.
And he has the number 4 seed is out.
Soderling shell-shocked Dolgopolov, heaping praise on his Adelaide-based coach Jack Reeder after the biggest win of his career.
Well, you know, there's a lot of nice people in the world, so you just meet them all over the show. So I'm happy with my team now, and I'm doing well.
Scott Andy Murray found some support in the crowd as he continues to carve his way through the draw.
That is obscene athleticism.
Jürgen Melzer letting off steam as the 5th seed brushed aside the Austrian in straight sets. No one was safe in the women's draw as 12th seed Agnieszka Radwanska took out a ball boy, but she couldn't take out opponent Peng Shuai. The pair locked in a marathon 3rd set. Sam Stosur's conqueror Petra Kvitova clinched a place in the final 8 with a 3-set win over Italian Flavia Panetta. And Panetta's compatriot Francesca Schiavone admits she was so overwhelmed by the crowd's support during last night's history-making 4-hour, 44-minute epic, she now wants to move here.
I like this country. I like to live in Melbourne.
Kelly Underwood, 10 News.
Yeah, that was certainly a huge match. Dolgopolov, well, he might just become a cult hero if he's got that Australian connection. He takes on Andy Murray in 2 days' time. Now, as for Murray, as we saw, he had the big Billy Connolly in as support, and he outlined how he'd first heard Billy Connolly. They must have been fairly lenient, the Murray parents, as he and his brother Jamie were travelling down to play their tennis.
The thing has been, we used to listen to all the time from maybe 10, 11 years old up until I was 15, 16, and then I haven't seen that much of his stuff for a little while, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to go along and see it.
So that could be quite an encounter, and he might have a new fan as well. Tonight's action on Rod Laver Arena, we've got Marin Cilic taking on Rafael Nadal. They've only met once before, and Cilic has actually got the wood over Nadal, so he leads 1-0 in that head-to-head rating. And on the women's side, Ekaterina Makarova, she will take on Kimi Clijsters, and you can imagine the crowd will be supporting Aussie Kim. We'll have details for you, Stephen, in Sports Tonight.
Thanks, Ian. Geelong has confirmed Cameron Ling will remain captain of the Cats in 2011. After the club's disappointing finals exit last year, there had been speculation the 29-year-old would relinquish the role to Joel Selwood, but 10 News can reveal Ling has retained the top job at least for another season. Meanwhile, Melbourne will announce its new skipper within the next fortnight. While veterans Brad Green and Aaron Davey are the leading candidates, the Demons haven't ruled out bestowing the honour on a 21-year-old.
It's not quite the same as firing up the Demons before a big match at the G, but it's all good practice for Brad Green. As part of the club's support for the Victorian Women's League, the Melbourne veteran passed on some tips to the state's leading female players.
You're here because you've been the rising stars of the VWFL, which is a great achievement.
With former skipper James McDonald and 200-gamer Cameron Bruce gone, 29-year-old Green is now the Demons' elder statesman.
A lot of experience went out of the club, so I think I'm the oldest by about 3 years now, and that makes me feel old.
And the reigning best and fairest will be barking plenty of instructions this season as hot favourite to be named the D's next captain.
It's something that I'm striving to always be a leader around the group, and hopefully keep earning their respect.
Along with Aaron Davey, 21-year-old Jack Grimes is another leading candidate for the job after being elevated to the leadership group.
It's pretty proud because the players voted it, so it probably meant a lot more coming from them, and it's good to get that feedback from the group, and well, hopefully I can improve a little bit in that sort of sense with the leadership this year.
Grimes forms part of one of the AFL's most promising young brigades, which also includes names like Scully, Trengove, Watts and Frawley. So it's little wonder the club is expecting a vast improvement on last year's 12th placed finish.
So we're doing everything we can to move up that ladder.
Finals been mentioned at all?
No, we haven't talked about that at all. We've just been taking it one step at a time, like they always say. Good old cliche.
Spoken like a future captain. Nathan Templeton, 10 News.
Former Adelaide Crow Andrew McLeod has flown out to Geneva, where he'll address the United Nations Forum on Racism in Sport. The dual premiership midfielder will speak about the abuse he endured as a young player in the AFL. McLeod believes the league has set a benchmark in combating racism in sport, and he's hopeful his speech will make a difference overseas.
The reason why we're going over there to say, well, this is what we do, we've got a great model, and if other sports can learn and use it and hopefully develop their own, if we can help them out, then that's great branding for the AFL.
McLeod will make his 10-minute address on Australia Day. The Green Bay Packers will meet the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 45 after the two sides book their spots in the NFL showpiece today. The Packers are just one win away from their first World Championship since 1997 after beating the Chicago Bears 21-14.
Who is it? Big B.J. Raji for the touchdown.
The Steelers have reached a record-equalling 8th Super Bowl after holding off a late charge from the New York Jets. 24-19, the final score. And Helen, I know you'll be on the couch at home watching Super Bowl 45.
I was telling you how much I love Super Bowl, wasn't
it's great.
Oh,
you guys, I love it. Let's check the weekend lotto results. And 4 winners, including 2 from Victoria, have each received more than $1 million. The rest of the prizes, of course, are on your screen.
And time to take another look at the traffic. So let's cross back to Emma in the chopper.
Thank you very much, Helen. Yes, flying in the Car City traffic chopper over a nasty accident in Doncaster East that's left a car on its roof. It's inbound on Doncaster Road at the city side of Blackburn Road. Ambos police and fireys are in attendance. Only one lane is currently getting through. Surprisingly, not causing too many delays for traffic, and still a pretty good run on all the freeways. See you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Emma. Mark's weather is after the break, and Ride for Relief, a cycling superstar, takes to the streets in flood-ravaged Brisbane.
6 p.m, 2 weeks on, what's it like to still be a flood victim? Hamish McDonald and the teenagers on the Gaza Strip willing to kill and die for the cause, and the sex scandal that could finally bring down Italy's incorrigible Silvio Berlusconi. Join us soon for the very...
Welcome back. A cycling legend is praising Aussie generosity while doing his own bit for Queensland's flood victims. Lance Armstrong has joined local stars Robbie McEwen and Alan Davis, as well as thousands of amateurs, for a charity ride through Brisbane. And he's even donated $50,000 of his own money to the cause.
If there's anything cool about this, was the way that the Australian people rallied around Queensland. And when I heard that there were traffic jams coming into the city because people wanted to come and help and volunteer.
Fantastic. The event raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.